Hello, everybody. This is Card Guy Chris Ellis,
Well, Collectible Chris.
and we're here to talk to you about.
A little bit of the MLB offseason with an additional deal being made, as well as our top draft picks that people should be collecting or are personal collecting. We will discuss the spring training for baseball a little bit later on, probably when we do our picks for the upcoming season, as well as a trade of between me and Dad. Y'all will actually see a trade because Dad had pulled a card I've wanted, and we discussed a possible value determination. So Dad doesn't know what I got him. It's rarely in here. He has not looked at it or anything. The only person that knows about this is Mom, his wife. So yeah. So to start us off, congratulations to one of the best comeback players in a while. Cody Bellinger re-signed with the Chicago Cubs for 3 years for $80 million. Honestly, I think he deserved a little bit more money for how he could turn around the Chicago Cubs bat. But for 3 years for a player that's a little bit older, I understand why it was a short-term deal with a little less money. But if he keeps up with the bat, I mean, he will have Chicago be a real contender for playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good year last year. Definitely helped the Cubs. Definitely didn't think he was going to go anywhere but stay with the Cubs. So that was a good pick.
I mean, I was hoping he would stay a Cub as well, and he really is like the last key free agent, honestly, to actually need to be signed. And luckily, he got signed right before spring training hit, so that's always a plus. So, do you have your list already, Dad, or are you?
No, I just go. I mean, there's only like two guys that that I'm definitely thinking right now is the two guys from Texas, the wide receivers and the linebacker. You know.
Oh, the linebacker. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
Right.
actually had your running back on there on my list.
Ah,
But the linebacker, 94.
no, it's
Oh, the other guy.
41.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but we can go by your list right now, and then we'll talk about who's on your list, and then I'll come up with people. Because I was going to go more by what the how I look at the combine, see how that was going to go. But
Well, I'm doing my list based on like what I saw in the last season.
yeah, that's fine.
And
We'll
just-
go off that. We'll go off yours.
And of course, people I know I'm gonna collect. And I mean, number one on the list, I think me and you will personally collect anyway.
Yeah,
So I mean, number one that people should start collecting, just because of value, just because of basically one word comes to mind is legacy. Shout out to Randy Orton right there. But I really think Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver for Ohio State, is going to be one of those guys that people just need to collect anyway. I mean, shoot, even his Bowman stuff goes for pretty high, especially when it gets a very high grade. Like, he has a lot to fill when it comes to, like, father-son combinations. I mean, Junior stood out a lot at Ohio State, not following in his dad's footsteps, going to Illinois,
Syracuse.
Syracuse. So the fact that he went to a different school helps out. Could he potentially be the number one pick in the overall draft? Yes. Should Chicago take him? Absolutely. Big freaking weapon for Fields if they decide to keep Fields, which I'm still hoping for. But we'll see how the draft goes. But Marvin Harrison to me is just gonna be one of those guys that's just gonna be explosive. I mean, shoot, agree or disagree, he had his dad's talent in college. I think he'll go into the pros.
Yeah, I think it all depends on the team drafting him. I mean, he's a top. Obviously, he's in the top 5 pick. He's right now taken slated number 4, which I think is Arizona. Has got him right now. A lot of people got him slated with. That would help Murray a lot, but like any team in the top 10, there's many holes to fill. I mean, Chicago's got a lot of holes to fill, more than just quarterback. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I think I think Harrison is going to be a great player. Going to definitely be superstar caliber. I think. I don't think there's anything that he can't do. So. So yeah, I mean him as your number one. That definitely. I thought somebody else would be your number one, but yeah. But that's pretty good. I think that's
well. I kind of did this list as not like my personal top 10 of collecting is really like the top 10 that I think people should collect with some of my personal. So,
no, I got you.
Yeah. So number 2 for personal for me is going to be Drake May, quarterback for UNC. I still think he should just stay at UNC for his senior year, in my opinion. Though Coach Brown does wonderful when it comes to young guys. I mean, look what he did to Sam Howell, and Sam Howell has had a chance. Contract extension to Sam Howell as well with the Commanders, which is great. But he can also be also good trade bait. And honestly, Sam has done decently with the Commanders. A lot of UNC quarterbacks doesn't get enough love. Honestly, a lot of UNC players doesn't get a lot of love. Period. But May, being as young as he is with an arm like his, it will help out some team or even a good backup. I don't think Drake will be a starter. I think he'll be a very good backup, though, when it comes to just being elusive. I mean, being at UNC, he knew how to game manage the clock. He had a good coach right behind him that gave him full confidence, that just gave him the ball to do what he needs to do. And if he needs to run, he'll run. I mean, he reminds me of Aaron Rodgers back in his Cal days. So, like, with May, possibilities are endless, honestly.
I think May right now is projected at number 2. Whoever the number 2 team is right now, I think that's the Redskins, actually, or the Commanders.
Which will be funny, UNC quarterback with a UNC quarterback.
But he's had a great college career. I mean, did really well. So yeah, I don't see him falling too far behind that. Definitely a good quarterback. So we'll go with your next one.
Cooper DeJean, a cornerback from Iowa, the first white corner to go to be in the NFL for a very long time. Usually when you think of race with football, you really don't see that until it actually hits you in the face with that statistic. I mean, it's been a long time. I mean, there's not like a lot of good wide receivers, and look at Cooper Kupp. And tight ends, you always think tight end receivers are usually white until you get someone like Eric Ebron, and he's flipping killing it in Pittsburgh. But Cooper is a great coverage guy. He does not have a lot of speed, but what he lacks in speed, he actually makes up for in just his mind mentality. If you actually watch a lot of the games that Iowa had last year, he only gave up 3 touchdowns, and all 3 were in the red zone. He didn't give up any deep balls, which is very impressive. So, like, any team could be lucky to have this guy defensively. But in all honesty, if a team needs to pick him up to help out the secondary, it has to be Philadelphia, honestly, because that secondary just got trashed during the second half of the season, even in the freaking playoffs against Tampa Bay. But if you put Cooper in any northern team, he'll kill it. Southern teams, honestly, I would love to see him in Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville could use a star corner like Cooper. I mean, they already got Trayvon Walker at linebacker, so how about strengthen that secondary and help out that Jacksonville defense?
Yeah, I mean, he had a good year at corner. Iowa's done some impressive things with the cornerback position, mostly known as a tight end school. But, hey, he's going to I think he'll have a good career, depending on where he gets drafted, of course. I'm not for sure who's got him slated where, but
he's been dropped down to second round, but because he's not seen as a sought-after corner compared to other corners.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like cornerbacks, you're thinking of interception ability plus coverage, and Cooper can tackle that. Like Cooper, I'm trying to think of a player that you can. Okay, Josh Norman, in his younger days, Norman could coverage and he would deflect the ball, and Norman wasn't a fast guy either, but you get him to corner somebody, he'll corner them and do his best. And Norman didn't give up that many deep balls in his young career either. So like Cooper is like a good analogy of Josh Norman. Like I hope he gets on a team that desperately needs him. That way he can shine.
Yeah. Oh, well, that would work.
I think this guy's going to do great. A guy I'll personally collect, and I usually do not collect Florida State Seminole players at all. But Akeem Dent is a safety I think is going to go somewhere. He was phenomenal for that Florida State defense, except for their playoff game against Georgia. But Dent is a good, strong presence. He's actually a tackling safety. Coverage, he is moderately decent at coverage, but if you put him in the box, he will sack a quarterback. I mean, he had 13 sacks in a span of 3 years as a starter for Florida State. So Akeem has the speed and he has the strength to take out somebody. Luckily, he's not big enough to switch to a linebacker like how Clay Matthews did from USC to Green Bay Packers. Akeem is skinny enough to do that, but he is strong as heck. Best analogy for him was going to be him with Brian Dawkins. Like, Dawkins was a skinny guy that it just hits for power. That's how Akeem is. He hits for power, he hits for loss, and if you put him in the box, quarterbacks, beware. He has that speed to do it.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I think a team like Seattle would be good.
Oh, God. Yes.
I think a team like anybody that could use a free safety that could go into the box and take out the running game. I think that would be good.
Seattle or Pittsburgh.
Yep. So you're looking at like those strong defensive teams. So that would be a good way to help rebuild those two defenses. Yeah, I think that would be good. I think he's gone first round. If he doesn't, it's going to be shocking.
I agree.
So,
but if someone picks him up in the second round, it will definitely be a steal.
Oh, that's a steal like Joey Porter was with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this guy, you were assuming he'll be my number one.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, fair. Number 5 on my list of that people should, kind of should collect it, but I'm gonna personally collect just because of how much I loved his dad, being with the Niners, Colts, Dolphins. Ended his career with the Jets.
I believe so.
Yep. Frank Gore Jr. I mean, I'm going to collect him just because he was a Southern Miss player. Did extremely well. He was a COVID student, so that's why I thought he was a junior instead of a senior, so he is eligible for the draft. Gore is really not projected high into the draft just because of the stats that he accumulated with Southern. I understand that he wanted to break away from his dad's footsteps in Miami. I respect that. When Southern changed conferences in his big career too, it kind of hurt him as well. But he went through three different coaches. He went through so many quarterbacks due to injury. He even had to play quarterback and did decently. So being an elusive and honestly go in and do what you can player, that explains something about Gore. I mean, he is nothing like how his dad was. His dad was a small ground and pound running back.
Yep.
Junior is more elusive and a little bit quicker, which is good. He can catch out of the backfield, and he can throw. Like, he can actually yeet a ball and throw it to a receiver if needed. So, a team that actually does well with option play, San Francisco, it would actually help out with them immediately. So, if a team actually picks him up, not only do they get a running back that can consistently give you 3 to 5 yards a carry, you get a running back with a chip on his shoulder that wants to show why he is from his dad. So, like, any team will be lucky to have this guy. If a team gives him a chance, awesome, because, I mean, the name gives him a good start off. I mean, look at Marvin Harrison. And honestly, Gore Jr., if he ends up anywhere, I guarantee he will bring a different dynamic to that team.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to say anything, I think he's like in the mold of Roger Craig, Thurman Thomas.
Oh, yes.
B. John Robinson. All-purpose back. They can do pretty much anything asked, receive, catch, run. I mean, yeah, it kind of gives him the ability. He played quarterback, so we know he can throw the ball. All depends on the team he goes to.
Yeah.
Like any team. But it just depends on, who gets him. If he's not a late first-round pick, I see him second, maybe third round.
It would not surprise me third round, but it would not surprise me even more if he's a fourth round back, because there's a lot of great running backs ahead of him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Just because of just looking at the college stats. I mean, Gore, I love you. I do. You were awesome to watch at Southern, and actually, I have watched you play 3 times live, which was amazing. And when I saw you throw that ball, I was highly amazed. So, like, yep. I hope you do well. I really do. So, yeah. Moving on?
Yeah, go to the next one.
This guy, I'm not going to personally collect, but people should actually keep an eye out on, especially since this guy gives me like Dwight Freeney vibes. Later, Taylor III, defensive lineman from Miami, Florida Hurricanes. This guy is quick. He's big and he's nasty. Like, he was a driving force on that Miami defense for 2 years. Led the team in sacks, led the team in tackles for loss. Like, this guy could do it all. Great spin move when it comes to like a strong offensive lines. Like, him against Florida State was phenomenal. He got to the quarterback and everything. So, like, he's phenomenal. So if there's gonna be like any contention for defensive player of the year, this guy will be in my top 3 already, because I think fairly highly of him. Dallas could use him.
It sounds like a team like Tampa Bay too.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
almost in the same mind frame. Dallas. Yeah. I mean, Dallas is looking at D linemen, defensive tackles, or defensive ends. So yeah, that could definitely be there, or even Tampa, because right now they're trying to work on. They released the linebacker.
Oh, they released Leonard.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
They're trying to sign Evans and Baker, so they could be looking at drafting him.
Yeah.
So that would So that, I mean, yeah, Dallas and Tampa Bay definitely, I think, would be looking at someone like that. Do you want to go ahead and go to your next one?
Yep. This guy, he gives me Watt vibes, just because of how quick he is and how fast he can get to the quarterback. Jonah Ellis, edge rusher from Utah, one of the best players I've seen go after running backs, but can also get to the quarterback. I mean, that Utah defense was outstanding due to Jonah. Any team could actually pick this guy up and just improve on the front 4. So, honestly, everyone from the Colts to the Bills to Jacksonville to even the Patriots. The Patriots could actually use a guy like this to up their defensive stats, especially their front four. So Jonah going to the Patriots would actually be an outstanding pick, especially considering that their new head coach is actually a guy that actually knows pass rush. So I think he's looking very highly at Jonah. And a lot of Utah guys really don't make it or get talked about, but this guy killed it as a freshman. So all 4-year starter, was out for 4 weeks in 1 year due to an injury, but came back, looked strong. He's third in all-time sack leaders as well for Utah. So, like, this guy killed it. He should be I think he's projected at least top 20. So, if New England is looking to up their defense, Jonah should be the guy for him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's edge rushers, good edge rushers you need. I mean, he's played some top competition being at Utah, so obviously, he's a player. Yeah. I mean, anybody can use good edge rushing.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not the 49ers. They got 2 good edge rushers as is.
Oh, yeah.
But some team could use them. Go ahead and go to your next one. I think your next one is definitely my number 1 guy.
Your number 1 guy?
Yeah.
Well, you can talk highly of him. I'll do the introduction. Mr. Xavier were the wide receiver for the University of Texas Longhorns.
Obviously had some big games this year.
Yes. You hype him up, Dad. I've done enough hype. So
I mean, I think the weakest game he had, even though he had a pretty good strong game, actually was Oklahoma. But I mean, over the last couple of seasons, he's done well. Good, strong wide receiver, can catch out in the flat. Is not scared to go the middle as a slot receiver. So he probably could go anywhere in that area. I mean,
and if he doesn't, I mean, like he also did a lot of returns as well. And
yeah, he basically took over for Bijan.
Did he do that huge kick return against Alabama too in the first week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like Xavier reminds me of Tyler Lockett a lot in the fact that because he's a small guy too.
Yeah,
but he has great hands, a very good route runner. And he's quick. He's not fast, but he's quick. He knows how to move around the defense, especially on the big linebackers guys. And due to his size, he can escape if need to. So if a team picks him up, I would love actually to see Xavier be with the Texans. Have him as a kick returner. And then I have him as a fourth receiver and see if he be a part of that. I mean, so you would have Tank Dell, Nico, and Xavier. That would be dangerous because you already got a small guy in Nico, in both Nico and Tank. But if you have a smaller guy with Xavier, I mean, you got 3 deep threats, and
that's just scary.
Just have Xavier just go through the middle and be like, "Hey, I'm right here." Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if he stays in the Texas area, definitely would be a good one. Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I think the Texans would jump at the heart of it. Your number 9 is a good one. I think he raised his stock the most during the playoff. And
I think this is actually the sleeper pick.
He's the number 11 pick right now.
Oh, he's the number 11? Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. J.J. McCarthy, quarterback from Michigan. We got a baby face of Brock Purdy. This guy's even more of a baby face just because of the hair. But JJ, honestly, very good game manager, being with Harbaugh for as long as he was. Understands and know how to control a game and know how to actually identify pressures and everything. Didn't get sacked that much, even with a weak Michigan offensive line his junior year. He still did a lot with what he had to do. So JJ is got to be a sleeper pick. Like when it comes to JJ, it's the same thing with Drake May, and I'll compare both of them to actually with Stetson Bennett. A little bit because even though Bennett's older, there gotta be guys that'll be picked up that will be great for the practice squad for anything, and if they get the opportunity, I think they will shine. But with JJ, I I hate to say it, I don't want to do the curse. I really don't. But if he goes to Cleveland, I think it'll be the best bet. He knows Northern Territory. He knows how to deal with the Northern cold. He knows how to actually go deep and go short if need be, and knows how to use a tight end. So even if Flacco is the starter and have JJ learn from Flacco, I think that'll be tremendous for his career, as well as he'll know how to actually go around.
There's someone that's making like a lot of money this year named Deshaun Watson that might have something to say about that.
Yeah, well, Deshaun Watson can just get released. I don't care. But I mean,
I think JJ did a lot. So many people talked so much trash about him as a quarterback, and just to see how he produced and how well he did,
especially against Bama.
Okay, he's had cards out for the last 3 or 4 years already, so there's a pretty good list of cards out there already for him.
I mean, shoot, even his 1-of-1 autograph was actually not that expensive, which is shocking. But that he's like the most hated quarterback that is actually a good player, like as in like a good student player.
Yeah,
like smart kid, and showed what he could do. But I
think a lot of it has to do with Michigan bias, and people not liking Michigan. Which I'm not the biggest Michigan fan in the world, but JJ did. I even said it. I mean, I think JJ raised his games in the playoffs raised his stock.
Oh yeah, especially against Bama.
And right,
that Bama game, he did more for his stock than anything. So.
Yeah, I mean those passes that he was making and his demeanor, and then how he played against the Huskies. I mean,
him against the Huskies was just
So I mean,
phenomenal.
I mean, hey, wherever he goes, I hope he goes to somewhere where he can learn a little bit before taking the top job.
That's why I think Cleveland is like the best spot at this time, because like
I think the Chargers wouldn't be a bad spot for him either.
Well, just because of Harbaugh being there, but Harbaugh already has Herbert. But if he wants to pick up JJ and have JJ learn from Herbert, that'll be good too. Only difference is that JJ knows how to throw short. Herbert just yeets it.
Yeah. So. All right, and you got a running back, I think, from the University
of Texas. Jonathan Brooks, take it away, Dad.
Great power runner. Lost him way too early in the season. Would have easily probably been in the top 5 in the Heisman. Guy can run. Guy's powerful. Took over for Bijan. Then our running backs became running back by committee, which was unfortunate. But gave some other running backs a chance to play. But yeah, I mean, hey, Texas running backs usually do pretty well in the pros. So I mean, I like to see him taken by a team that knows how to use a running back, not Atlanta.
Golly, dig on Atlanta due to Bijan.
Even though Bijan was in the top 5 in the awards for Rookie of the Year, but still, they didn't use him right. The guy, I won't get into that.
We already talked enough of that during the season.
Yep.
I know there's one particular quarterback you'll collect, and I would have had him in the top 10. It's just that I'm kind of worried after his performance at the championship. It just
Notre Dame's quarterback.
No, Washington's.
Oh, you mean
Penix?
Penix. Penix is probably going to be a second-round pick. I still believe in him because due to the fact that I think the injury concerns are what's the most worrying him, but he played 2 years without, and the way he played, I mean, yeah, the Michigan game was probably the worst game he played since he was at Indiana, which was a long time ago. But I think, I mean, if I was to put, I would put JJ ahead of Phoenix, I think, as a quarterback. But I think if Phoenix goes to the right team with the right mentality and stays behind, if he's like Hooker gets drafted by Detroit and is behind golf, then maybe he'll learn.
Oh yeah.
So I don't see that as too bad of a thing.
No.
I mean, I'd rather be taken in the second round by a good team than taken round 1 by
Carolina,
a bad team. You know, I think Carolina has a loss. I think they might have their quarterback of the future, but they need to build things around him
in order to actually succeed.
Yeah, because if you look at his stats, he actually did not have a quote unquote
bad
year. The team quote unquote had a bad year. So
no, he had great stats. I mean, not bad on TD interception ratio. But did I cover the two that you were collecting already?
Yeah, you covered two. Yeah.
The two big ones. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people are gonna say, well, why not Caleb Williams? I don't like Caleb Williams' stock after his senior year. I think it's the same thing with the Matt Barkley situation. He gets drafted by Chicago. It's going to be Chicago's worst nightmare and worst decision. They need to keep Fields and have Caleb Williams go somewhere else. I'm sorry. If y'all are big on Caleb Williams, that's on y'all. Does he have stock? Yes. Is he highly sought after when it comes to collecting? Yes. It's hugely understandable. But I don't see it. And if he proves me wrong, great. I will send my cards to get graded and sell them if he does well. But that's just me. So I don't know.
This is how I feel about Caleb. If you trade Fields, okay, and
get a wide,
and you draft Caleb, did your offense change any? When you can have Fields now, if you trade Fields and get a bunch of draft picks to build around Caleb, okay. But probably not going to happen. Because Fields is not going to offer that much back. I mean, there's only two teams right now I think there's in talks with, and that's Atlanta and somebody else. And I can't remember who the other one is.
It wasn't Green Bay.
No. But I know the Falcons are one. For sure. So, you know.
Wasn't it Arizona?
No, they got Murray. And
that's right. That's right.
Murray actually did really well coming back from injury.
Yeah.
So
I can't complain about Murray. A lot of those Cardinal Cardinal fans hated Murray, but after the year he had, I mean, I had to respect his game. He did well.
So I would just, it's going to be a hard. I see Chicago trading the pick. I really do.
Just get Marvin Harrison. Just have a big old wide over Fields to throw to. I mean, just do that because they got the tight end already.
They got more.
Komet's doing well.
They got more. They got him, but they need a line.
But Moore is a small guy.
Need guys that can tackle. But yeah, it's we'll get more into the draft as it goes, especially after the combine. I know Caleb. I know he's not going to be throwing he's going to be there, but he won't throw.
Of course not.
So,
but, also another player, Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden McDaniels. Jaden had great statistics. He's a thrower.
I don't see him as a third pick in the draft, though.
I don't either. And he reminds me a lot like Jameis Winston. Throws a lot of yards, but makes just a lot of mistakes often. He had the statistics. It's just that his touchdown interception ratio was just not that good. And they scored a lot of TDs. They scored a lot of touchdowns. But can Jada succeed? Yes. As long as he stays healthy. If he goes to a team that needs him, more power to him. But he needs to go to a team to learn from first before he becomes a megastar.
Yep. So we are going to get to the trade now. I am trading this. Tyler Hansbrough.
Hero.
Hansbrough
retired a few years ago, Dad.
Yep. Tyler Hero, a 2/2. It's autograph. It's a leaf. Our subscriptions. So I will be trading this to my son, who is a big Tyler Hero fan.
Yes. I do have two Met 9 rookie cards of him, actually. And I'm trading my dad this.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, I think that's how they actually keep their stock.
Yeah.
And it's also special numbered, I believe.
Yeah, I might change out since it's got the. Ooh. Looking to see if it is.
It might just be the card number.
Yeah, it's the card number.
Oh, hold up. Because I thought it said. Yeah, because you see right here it says out of 487.
Maybe they didn't number them like some.
Yeah. But I thought that would be good.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. He got me a 9.510 Vince Young auto.
Rookie.
Auto. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Like it a lot. So here's your.
Tyler Hero.
Yep. So if you want to take him in your bubble wrap.
Yes, thank you.
So that was very cool.
Yeah. And just because it was a graded or ungraded, when it comes to trading, as long as we trade something that we both like, it doesn't matter. Like, a lot of people just see value on value, but I mean, if you're trading with friends or family, just be nice. Give them something that they like. Yeah. I mean, shoot, this past year, I mean, for this first couple starts of the year, I mean, I pulled a Bijan Robinson rookie relic, and he pulled a Chris Olave relic, so we just traded that.
Yep.
So,
yep. So yeah, I mean, he likes the Tyler Hero because the Miami Heat.
Yep.
So
and he likes Vince Young because I mean he was a great quarterback for Texas.
Yep.
So
Heisman Trophy winner. Well, it should have been a Heisman Trophy winner. National championship though.
A national championship, and he beat the University of Southern California for it.
Yep. So, but next week we'll be talking. I'll probably have my top 10 who I'm going to collect. We'll talk about the combine and some other stuff, and see about any good spring training guys getting signed. But other than that, this is Card Guy Chris Ellis.
Well, Collectible Chris.
And we'll be talking to you later. Bye.